We're taking a quick break, and when we come back, we explore the issues of the day today.
Dominicans, Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property, you homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property, can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again, can't wait till you fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
Oh, you, I just made goal winning Roseau again. Same place outside Flossie's. I tried to dock in, but you had time see me. Where? Story start again. Million, lot of my power with Gaza. Saga fella. I said the same thing you doing, shopping at Flossie's. And you don't have to tell me the same thing you tell me last time because I'm busy. It's to hear him way. You reckon? About my pocket, boy. I won't tell you that I save money and and drinks when I buy quantity. I save more. Oh, shucks, man. Well, when you're still telling me, I know already. To park I expect him, why? But I can up pepper palais. I will tell all my friends from London, US and Dominica to come to Floss's, right next to the Rosa Market. Open Sunday to Saturday. Floss's can't do it Tuesday.
Madam Boboy Madi, locally, he put a Bryce and Company. Here the Rice and Company. The only company I know with Bryce was cooking water and back and neck. Now with the last valley short. I said Bryce. In the old plus nefla where you have a roofing material and seamless guttering. Yes, 24 gauge carbonate, all colors. Ever open Nipo gas peel agent. They program the computer to give you the exact size you want. And the seamless guttering aluminum that can better withstand the elements you have in an easy way. So no leaking after a while. And so much more. Bryce and Company, the act by 8 bank close to the old mill at Enfield. Telephone 617-2468.
For a fast escape this Easter, spend a minimum of $15 on any Cheetos Crunchy, Cheetos Flaming Hot, Fritos, or Sun Chips, and you could win an Easter weekend trip for two to St. Lucia. That's right, tickets and accommodation at the beautiful Harbor Club Hotel. Here's how to enter. Write your name and a telephone number on your receipt and drop it in the entry box provided, or simply WhatsApp a photo of your receipt with your name to 1-767-317-4130. It's that easy. So snack more, relax more, and escape faster with Frito-Lay. Promotion runs from February 18th to April 1st. Terms and conditions apply. Fine Foods Inc., the biggest distributor of the biggest brands found in Dominica.
Energy, strength, vitality. The dream that gives us strength for the extra mile. Vitamalt food. Delicious, refreshing, and healthy. Taste it. Rich in vitamin B. Vitamalt, the magical source of energy you know and love. Drink it. Boy, that's nicely. I love my Vitamalt there. Vitamalt. Vitalize naturally. Distributed by Belva Estate Limited.
For the first hour of this afternoon, we're going to continue to explore the saga at Dewash, where a reggae sensation Mr. Dewash and of course Dr. IP and others from the diaspora are standing there trying to save Dewash. After heavy equipment began arriving in that area again yesterday, and we're being told that stop order is still in place. So what is actually happening? Can government officials come clean and tell the nationals what's really going on? Why are these heavy equipments heading back to that site? Are they in search of big stones or are they in search of copper? That's the question being asked. Are the authorities being sincere? Or are these Chinese operatives looking for more? Some of the questions on the table. I spoke to David Chagall and Brother Nasio just before the break this morning. Let's listen as they continue to put things in perspective. Standing for Dewash.
We want to greet all the people of Dominica. We want to greet all the people of Dominica. Everyone, regardless where you are right now, we want to say have a beautiful day. And Nacho is a reggae artist.
Keep hearing the word protest being used, but this is not a protest. We are not protesting. You see, protesting is when you don't have any power and you are begging of somebody more powerful than you to have mercy.
True.
But that is not what we are doing.
You're standing.
We are standing up for our rights, and we are a powerful people. And we cannot be subjugated or bend the knee to someone as a colonizer as if they are our father or our master. The Constitution is supreme. The people of the country is supreme and sovereign. So this is not a protest. This is standing for the liberation from colonialization by Chinese. This is not political because we have no party or partisanship. The earth, the creation, the nature that we rely on has no politics. The river is not red or blue. The river is for the people. The soil has not red or blue. It's for the people. So the reality really is that we are being taken over because we are embedded in politics instead of being grounded in the truth. And the truth is we have been taken over by a foreign power because of the greed of a certain politician who now is in power. So it's interesting to I, as a man, that when the special branch come who is ordered by the Chinese as if they work for the Chinese, to come and stop us from stopping the Chinese from breaking the law because there's a stop order that the Chinese are violating, and we are demanding that the law is followed so that we are protected as a people. This has nothing to do with politics. This has nothing to do with trying to stop development. It's about following the law. And that law cannot be just for us Dominicans, but not for the Chinese.
What did the police say to you when they came yesterday?
Well, actually, it was twice the police came. The first time in the morning, Nacho and I were able to block the crane truck from going up. And then the Chinese called for the police. The police first came up and were very empathetic and understanding of the situation. Because they know for years I've been going to them asking the Chinese to follow the law while the Chinese take my land, destroy the river and such. So now, when that did not work for the powers that be, the Chinese must have communicated with higher ups, and then the special branch, as you see in the video, are sent. But I must say, the special branch was very respectful. They did not brutalize us. They did not do anything improper to us. And they themselves were unaware that there is a stop order that the Chinese are violating. So they themselves did not know that we were trying to get the Chinese to abide by the law, that we were not breaking law. So after long discussion, which nobody sees in the video, I believe, because this happens just after, even the police are understanding of the problematic here. And honestly, and I say this to all the police of the nation, there is no us and them. There's us and us. We're all going to suffer the same consequences. All of our children on the same soil. All of us will pay the price for the destruction. So we have no problem with the police. And to be honest, Special Branch had no problem with us either, once we can reason together. What we are asking for is that the laws be respected by this foreign power that is trying to control us.
But David, a lot of people are saying both you and Nasir were very brave to stand in front of the machine there that very morning. Now, what moves you to stand in front of that machine?
Well, I don't think that you can ever confront evil without courage. You can never get liberty or liberation without courage. We are not protesting. We are standing for liberation. That is the only thing we're doing. And just like a woman must go through pain to make a child, or a man must go through pain to open his garden to have a harvest, we know that in order for us to get back our rights, we must stand. It's very simple. I don't want to be crushed by a machine. And I certainly don't like the idea of being violated by the Chinese. But I cannot accept that my children will not have the country they were born unto. And that is a greater worry for me than what the machine can do me. Because if the machine kill me, that is one thing. That is one life. But if the Chinese destroy our creation, our nature, our provider, then all of our children and grandchildren will have nothing. That's a far greater price to pay.
That's so.
I need my children to be brave men. I need my children to see that their father does not bow in front of evil, because I expect my children never to bow in front of evil. So only by example do we prove conviction.
I got a message this morning that said, you're not even Dominican, but you're prepared to stand for what you believe and protect Dominica.
Okay, I hear you saying I'm not a born Dominican. That is true, my brother. But I've lived here longer than the country of my birth, and my children's navel string is in my yard. And I don't agree with what you're saying, because there are many, many people who are proud patriots of countries they are not born into. Look at Colin Powell from Jamaica, who winds up being the head of the military in America. Yes, I don't know if you hear what Nas said, but this is true.
I'm hearing Nas. I'm just saying that's what somebody's suggesting. I'm not saying I am saying that. I'm saying that's what people are suggesting. Yes.
Full respect and love, and I understand that comment. But the truth is that no matter where I am on the earth, it is God's creation. No matter where I am on earth, it's the same moral law. There is no place on earth that man does not have the obligation to protect the creation that provides to him.
But let me see if we can talk to Nasir for just a minute. I'm hoping to have joined you guys, but I'm caught up and I'll be there tomorrow. But let me talk to Nasir for a minute here, please, if you can. David? Yes, please.
Yes, greetings, brother.
Greetings, brother. You keep standing. Everybody's saying you're very brave. Well gone. What message you want to pass on this morning? You're still standing.
Well, the message is always the message of solidarity and people standing for truth and right, my brother. One of the things we would like to know, following from yesterday until today, because Dominica, a home and abroad, we say greetings. See? Now, we would like to know, how did the Chinese find themselves at Dewash right now? I'm sitting down and looking at them. Their credit up. The workers are wrong. Vehicles going in and out. I'm asking the planning division right now, as we speak, what really happened to the stop order that they imposed upon Dewash? The government is not saying anything, and the planning division is not saying anything. And right now, it is not a time for anyone to be quiet. It's a time for people to be speaking up. So we would like planning to tell us, in very simple terms, what really happened to the terms of the stop order. Why are they still there working and doing what they're doing all of a sudden? So someone please talk to us and tell us what is going on.
Very, very, very simple message. And we'll of course continue to talk to you and communicate with you, Nasir. You're doing this for this country, doing it for all of us here. Keep standing, brother. We'll talk to you sometime.
Yeah, my brother. If you don't, like I tell you yesterday, we don't have no other choice.
Right.
We really don't have no, and I would like to really, it's a difficult thing to do, not to thank the police, but I have to thank the police because the squad came yesterday, and I really want to thank them for their respect. I mean, maybe some people would have think, say, I would have come through and I would, maybe they would be violent. The guys then came in as real men. They approached us, they greeted us, Even while removing me from the front of the machine, they still never made no way violent with me. To neither to brutalize me or to do anything wrong to me. So I really want to say thank you to them. And I wish that the government itself would be as respectable as this. You know, like the government itself and the ministers and the Chinese and all of them, CR5 and MNC would be as respectable as such to talk to the people of Dominica. Be open and tell them what the blood clot is going on with this country. Because we want to know, we demand to know. There is a need for I and I, the people of Dominica, to know what is taking place in our country. We see movements down, so movements up, so. But no one can really tell you definitely what is taking place. And we need to know what's taking place. So I'm calling on the government right now to come out of your comfort zone, come out of your hiding places, come out of your hypocrisy, come out of your whatever, and come address and talk to the people. You need to not address one little sector. You need to talk to the people of this country. I'm not talking blue nor red, neither freedom night or whoever else. I'm talking about the government, this government, whatever people address as a government, which I don't. They need to come forward and talk to the people because this thing that they're doing secret shit, operating with the Chinese and collaborating with a bunch of nonsense, they will do until it triggers a bigger thing that we will not be able to stop. And whoever wants to take it as a threat, they can go right ahead. Because I hold respect for those who hold respect for me. And those who don't hold respect for I and the people and the country and the rivers and the mountains and all places, sacred places, then I don't have no respect for you. I will never respect those who come to destroy my country. So Dominican, I have called upon you, but I have not seen you stand up. I have called upon you many a times. I have not seen you stand up. And yet I am here, me and my wife every day, David and Dr. Pascal. So we are asking you again, are you going to stand up for your country? Are you going to come to Dewash and let us stand up in unity as a people, regardless what political affiliation you deal with? It doesn't matter. Dominica is not a political affiliation. Dominica is not a church or an organization. Dominica is a country. It's a massive land that we call home, and we must stand and defend it.
Thank you, Nasir, brother Nasir. See you soon. Thank you. We've got to go, Dominica. We've got I'm hoping to make contact with the Chinese ambassador. Of course, there was a big appeal. We'll play that later from Athy Martin asking the Chinese ambassador to get involved. Somebody saying David is more a Dominican than some natural born citizens. $125. Yes.
Morning, man. I will give you the same opinion I gave yesterday on a voice note, man. I was trying to get to you.
For some reason, your voice note is breaking up, so you might have to try and send again. We need more Davids in Dominica. Dominican, please be present at Dewash. As we mourn the loss of UNICEF freedom fighter from Grand Bay, today is the same thing going on in Dewash. Long live UNICEF. Long live. That's a WhatsApp messaging. The Chinese must be made to respect our laws, or they must pay the consequences. Another WhatsApp message. At the 2 o'clock hour, we'll take in the Dominica Social Security, so stand by for that.
If you know quality, then you must know the manufacturers of Dominica's finest rums. Belfast Estate Limited, over 80 years leading the industry with exceptional standards and formidable customer service. We present the manufacturers of BB Rum, Soca Rum, Red Cap Rum, Cask Rum, and the signature Belfast Estate Rum Punch. With island-wide distribution daily, Belfast Estate Limited has cemented its mark as the distributor of choice for products like Eldorado range of rums and creams, Kubali Bear, Corona Bear, Guinness, Root Boy drink, and of course the Sunblast juices, Tapas snacks, Vitamalt, and Pine Hill juices. Call the office at 440-7032 or visit the distribution outlet at Jimmy Dominica. Follow on Facebook or Instagram at Belfast Estate. Belfast Estate Limited, your leading manufacturer and distributor of rums in Dominica.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning to your listeners.
From this morning.
This Dewash thing, Matt, is really hurting. It's really hurting. And I believe my biggest disappointment in all of this is the police. You know, the police have a right to protect themselves, but police also have a discretion, because there comes a time when they themselves have to stand up, right? Because the country belongs to all of us, every one of us. The country belongs to us, and they too have a right to protect the country, right? They have a right to protect the country. And this thing at Dewash, we all know, Papa God, we all know it's not about stones. People can say what they want, or the government can say what they want. We know it's not about stones.
As we make that point there, of course, we just heard both David and Nasio speaking to the point that the police were very cooperative and it was not hostile with them, so they want to commend the police officers. Are you there, caller? Yes? Caller, are you there? Are you there, caller? Thank you. People, our greatest gift is at the polls. Just remember, St. Vincent, let's shock them at the polls. We don't need to be by no sight or numbers. Let's show them our calm. Are you waiting until Dewash is destroyed? Do you know when election will be? On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes, man, good afternoon.
My brother, how you doing?
Good. I'm trying to be good. I'm there far, but I'm trying to be good. But don't cut me off, but tell me if I go in any violence, because I don't want to be violent. I don't preach in violence.
Okay.
But let me tell you, the man don't want to go the legal way. They're not hearing to stop. They're not listening. A stop order was put. Nobody get arrested for breaking the order. So wait, if I want to, they've already Chinese, they're killing Margot already.
Repeat the question?
The Chinese are getting the incident in Margot there. Well, the case going. Well, I don't just hear from the thing.
No.
If two Chinese,
Uh-huh.
if two Chinese get up there, so at Dewash, you don't think we get help from America faster? You don't think Trump will help faster?
Well, we don't want to we don't want to condone violence, and that's not where we want to go. We want a peaceful resolution to what's going on there. Yeah? Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Be very careful. Hello, 449-309-596. And I'm actually going to try to speak with the Chinese ambassador to find out just what is going on there. Hello, is it something the Chinese government support? Are you there? Yes.
Yes, you think we Dominicans or wherever we come from can go in China
No way.
and police say no, and for us to go and say yes and break law?
That could never happen. You'd face a firing squad.
Any one of us that do that will be arrested, and we don't even know where we pass. Right? So our country is our country. We have all our right to stand up for our country. We cannot be standing. We cannot have people standing for the country. Our law, our court passed a law that he have to cease for the time. They put a stop on it. Right? And whoever breaking the law, right, sending the Chinese, what they coming from the top, right? As I tell people already, the leader that in Dominica, the Prime Minister, does not love Dominicans. You don't want to see Dominica grow. You don't want to see Dominicans achieve, right? I call on all the young people of Dominica, listen and take heed. Now it's all the time, right? That man was here when only was 0. Now only 25 years. And all those say nothing that man do for the benefit of all you. Every house in Dominica will have a university educated person, right? Ask Roosevelt Scary. How many children is in university? How many? And those that do go cannot finish. Why? Because he's not paying. He's choosing who to pay for. That's how we want Dominica to move. My brother, it's time Dominicans take a stand. Take a stand, Dominicans. Now is our time. And now is not their time. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon and blessings. The Chinese are doing what the PM gave them permission to do. That's another WhatsApp here. The numbers are 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Hey, I go calling back. If you catch him again, I go promoting violence. I go asking a question.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, I go promoting because I don't abiding with the law or not abiding. So the Chinese them can break in the law. I wonder if they can break the law too. You know, and the churches, it's going to come to them because the Chinese, I don't think the Chinese believe in God. And just now, the churches will get it straight to them. I see what's happening. But I watched some documentary about 67 years ago, things that happened 67 years ago. And 37 under the Shah in Iran. I just swing too much. I just showing you an example. And you know the people them not bring back the man on the back the other day. The same leader they killed the other day there. So you know it's the people that never know it's slavery they're bringing onto themselves. I'm a Muslim, you know, man. But I don't for no shit, and I want to be fair, and I find it hurting to see that the Chinese in Dominica are doing all them wickedness to people, and grieving, and I so glad I would be up there, you know. I don't know what I don't know, but it needs to get to another level. Some people need to feel attention to who that can help us better, because Skeleton them is no help. I listen.
All right, my brother. Thank you very much. Let's take a voice note there, 135. We have the Dominica Social Security at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Hello, yeah.
Good day, Matt.
Yeah.
Hope you're well. I was listening to Mr. David, his phone interview, and he said that The police were not even aware that there was a stop order in place. So my question is that, okay, I understand they have to do their job and stuff, but do they familiarize themselves before they take on a case as to what's going on? Is it before the court? Is there any stop orders? Is there anything? Or do they just go blindly because they were sent? I don't understand. And even was there a person in charge to at least find out what's going on before? Do they ask the commissioner or whoever sends them out, or do they just go blindly? I mean, it's one thing to go where they send you, but it's another thing. You have to acclimate yourself with what's going on. And how do you not know? Like, do they keep abreast as to what's going on in the country? The things, I mean, that situation have been online, it's been everywhere for months now. So, like, how do they not know what's going on as police? And they're supposed to? That's just my question, man. I'm a little confused. And as far as the man was talking about, the police and, they have to stand up and hey, jobs in Dominica is scarce. We're not in a country where when you lose one job or you walk out of another job, you can easily get another one. So you can't blame them. The only concern I have is, do they just go blindly into a situation? Or do they find out what's going on before? Anyway, that's my question, man. Thanks.
Hello, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Peltier. How are you, sir?
I'm okay, yes.
With all due respect to you, sir, I would not advise you to call the Chinese ambassador because, it's going to the Chinese government. He doesn't want to tell you anything you'd like to know. And I heard Artie Martin saying the same thing this morning about the ambassador. These guys are working for the Chinese government. And if he were to say anything contrary to his government, they would recall him to China. If our prime minister, who is selling our country to this communist nation and doing all this nonsense in our country, he is the one to open his bloody mouth and stop this damn thing. But he don't care. He does not care. He does not love Dominica. He loves his pocket. Thank you, sir.
All right, well, we'll have to try. We'll have to try to find out what you're saying may be true. But let's see if we can get back to Maslin Edwards from the diaspora, who has joined the standing off at Dewash. Maslin, you've been there since morning. What can you report at this time?
Matt, a number of persons. Well, good afternoon to all Dominicans.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt, thanks for calling. A number of persons are here, Matt. Persons from Roseau. Some of the Wednesday walkers are here. Athi Mate and Margot, and other persons are here. And we are here standing together with Nasio Fountain, the set that was here yesterday. And the work is continuing. There are persons, working on the sites up and down. Vehicles are going in and out. And I went as far back, by where the crane is, to see what was going on up there.
Mm-hmm.
So they are peeling around doing what they have to do. And we are here. Other persons are on the road just looking and talking. There was a little confrontation with the security because there is a sign, an inadequate sign that is posted right at the entrance that says unauthorized vehicles are not allowed, but it does not say unauthorized persons
Okay.
are not allowed. So we ventured past the sign and went in, and there was a little fracas. and they threatened to call the police and what have you. I guess the police was on their way to town and they stopped. So I spoke to the officers and said that the sign is inadequate. If they don't want persons beyond that point, it should say no unauthorized persons and not unauthorized vehicles, because what it simply means, you can park your vehicle and walk up. Just don't drive up. So that was my argument this morning. But people are still here standing, and I am wondering, Matt, looking at the situation and looking at what happened yesterday, where the police came and had the crane on site. Persons saw, with Nasi, what happened with Nasio to allow the crane to pass. And a lot of persons were angry and they were disappointed, they were what have you. But at the end of the day, they are not here today. No one is standing. No one is saying a word. And they are saying a lot of things, but they are not here. And I'm wondering what has happened to the Dominican people. Why are they not here? Why are they not standing?
As a matter of fact,
there more people?
As a matter of fact, I saw a lot of critics, even criticizing you and Nasio and David for standing.
Well, Matt, I was created from Teflon, born from Teflon. I am Teflon. I don't care about what Dominicans say. At the end of the day, I'm a bona fide Dominican. I was born in Marigot, and I lived in Concord, just a stone throw from Dewash, where all of this is happening that is affecting my community.
Mhm.
So when I stand up not because I don't believe I don't want development. I stand up because I know development comes at a price, but it does not have to come at the price of tearing down our mountains. It does not have to come at the price of losing our country. And I do understand how important that river that runs through the community is to the community. And that is why I am standing. I do understand how important water is in today. Today, when the world is facing a shortage of water, I do understand what it is to destroy our watersheds. I do understand when a government will decide to go into such a, start such a large project that they know is going to affect the communities, and not have any forms of discussion with them, not have any approval from the government, from the forestry division.
Mhm.
And I do understand those things, and it's because they have disrespected and disregarded the people. So much so that they had to stop the project for a good is it 2 months or 3 months?
Mhm.
And now work has started, but have they come back to the community and say anything to the community as to how they're going to do? And this is a government that just does not care about the people. And I don't care what they say about me. What they say does not define me. It does not define who I am. It does not break my spirit. I have a spirit that they cannot manipulate. They cannot break, and that is who I am. So you say what you say, that's up to you, but I will stand. And look at Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. He stood for his country. He stood for Burkina Faso. Look at what Burkina Faso is today. And the people disrespect and manhandling and all of that, and they say a lot of things. But my question is, everybody is not criticizing. Where are the ones who are not criticizing? Where are the same people who express dissatisfaction? They are not here. Where are the activists on island? They are not here. Where are the men of cloth to stand for the spiritual nature of what our land represents? They are not here. Where are the decent workers of government? People from the forestry division, they are ready to mine, to destroy 200 acres of our forest reserve. Where are they? They are not here. They are not here. Nobody from the forestry division are here. They're not here standing for country. So it means that they all are in agreement for tearing down, all those acreages of our forest reserve. And they mining into the depth of the soul of our motherland in the name of development. We are the people of Concord, Calinas and environs. They are not here. Where are they? They are not here. And why aren't they standing? Why aren't they saying a thing? Matt, if whether this project continues or not, or if this project continues, Matt, I will not be guilty for not standing up to say no. I am for development. I am, if they are indeed building an airport, I am for the airport. But what I am saying is that why you have to dig the soul of your mother looking for what when you can get the rocks elsewhere? When all the other qualified persons are saying that the rocks they are no good. And why is it is in the place where copper, another mineral, was discovered many years ago, that they are digging into the soil, looking for rocks? Why is it is in that same place? And we just accept that. And the reason that this government did not tell us, that they were going to have a project of that magnitude is because there was something shoddy about it. And they did not have to be transparent, because we cannot trust what they are telling us, Matt. You cannot trust what they are telling us. Even the land that was leased to them for 3 years, the people did not even know that that was what they were going to do with the land. And I understood that is now causing a controversy, an issue. They did not know. So these people, they do things under false pretense. They can pull the wool over Dominicans' eyes. But it's not every Dominican that walk around like a zombie. It's not every Dominican that does not care about their country. It's not every Dominican that don't understand their rights. I am a bona fide Dominican and my navel string bearer here. So I will come to my country at any time and I will stand for what I believe. I will do what my father asked me to do, to stand for the things that are right, stand for this country, and continue working and fighting the good fight to liberate our land. And Matt, if the people were serious, Matt, if the people were serious, this could not happen here. If the people were serious, the government would have to respect them. If the people knew their power, the government would understand that the people have the power and not the other way around. And I am hoping with all of this, the people will see it fit to come out, because it's never too late. It's never too late for people to stand up for what is right. It is never too late for people to activate their patriotism and stand for their country. And to tell this government that is destroying the soul of our country, it's time for them to go.
Athi, of course. Maslin, thank you very much. Thank you. One of those standing there at Dewash. Appropriate song, huh? Tifla Mutan. There are still a few people wanting to sponsor buses to move to Dewash. If you're one of those persons who want to go and join Mr. Nas in the group, give me a call. Once you can get the numbers, we'll get a bus, 2 or 3 buses available. That's what the sponsors are requesting, huh? You can give me a call, 225-6417. The reggae sensation Nasio is asking for Dominicans to stand.
When the British heard of this place, they brought Africa to war for the Caribs were to stay with them. French people got to Northern, so they came with the American to the British war. The French country still was yes, you're tired, we live on. The green We are unique, my friend. No, we are our own.
Lord, how that is an appropriate song now. It's saying, Kite yo podom ever, ja podom no. Maslin crying for people to show up, calling on the people. We have called on the people many times. Look, Maslin doing it down on the ground. She's done in foreign, she right there on the ground in person. Nasio saying that the people are not there. They have been there for weeks, maybe for a month and more now. And the people are not there. So imagine you have to be calling on people, and everybody by now knows exactly what is happening. The police know what is happening, but they choose to be on the side of the demon. And the people know what's going on. A lot of them have compromised themselves, so they don't want to be seen. They're taking gifts in secret. They're taking gifts on the side. So you're not going to see them showing up there. That's what it is. Remember the last time I called about that Dewash thing? That was maybe before my father was even hospitalized, or maybe during that time. You said that people gather and you want to gather buses to go down there. What? We still haven't had gather buses to go down there? My brother, the people not interested in these things. That's what it is. People have compromised themselves. They're waiting for handouts. They're looking for favors. They're waiting for the ill-gotten gain, for benefits of from the ill-gotten gain. So that's where we are at.
In the year 1493, Christopher Columbus came. He saw a huge mass of land. It was green, so high and dim. It was on the earl of the day, and blue as the sea and sky. We live this new land, Dominica.
Hello, yes?
When
Yeah.
the people want to walk in on your road on a Wednesday, what they must say? All the lawyers, all the football doctors, just name them. Everybody was criticizing the workers there. So I don't see why the workers should put themselves in that. It's comfort people, married people, carried don't want to be there. Why I have to leave Roseau and go there? Eh? Tell me why I not leave Roseau and go there.
Because
and those people that right in the area they don't want to be there. You make it making sense?
All right, caller, thank you very much. If you want to stand, you stand, my brother. Nobody pushes you to go anywhere. 153, if it's is a conscience call. Let's see if we can take a phone call or not. I don't, I'm not gonna, force anybody to go where they don't want to be. 449-3095-96 and 97. Hello, let's take this voice note. Yes.
The Chinese man, them laughing at us, but we can look at them first. Look at them first. They're laughing at us. Sad. They gave Dominicans a gospel concert to pacify them. Because if you play the promo on the concert, you hear the man doing the promo, use of Asian accent. So how a man of an Asian accent doing a black gospel concert? Can you see where that's coming from? They know how to come get to us. We are powerful set of people, but we have no unity amongst ourselves. I applaud the brother Nasio and his wife and IP surprised me. IP just stood there, just record, he didn't even voice his frustration. I'm so disappointed in people like that. So, I don't know.
Yes. You say you're disappointed, but IP has been standing there for 6 weeks. My brother, where are you? You're pointing fingers at IP, and IP has been standing there for 6 weeks.
In the year 1493, Christopher Columbus came. He saw a huge mass.
He's the one that transports Nasio and his wife there every day. I think your criticism of IP is unnecessary. And Roseau and somebody's asking the question, why should I go to Dewash? But because, as somebody's indicating there, Roseau and Concord is part of Dominica. That's why you should show up.
Matt, all they have to do in order for them to get traction, all Nasi you have to do is for a free concert, For a free concert. So people will come because that's the only thing that interests Dominicans. For a free concert and probably get signal ban. Hopefully signal ban, they will give a little charity and they will come down there and just throw a free jam. They'll come, especially the young people. They'll come. They will go on bus. They'll go on bike. They'll go on whatever. That's all they have to do because that's all Dominicans concerned about, especially the young people. Most of the young people, because there are some young people that's standing up, but most of them that's all they're concerned about. Throw a party, throw a free jam, throw a signal ban or the other ones. They'll come. That's all they have to do. You have to use wisdom with these things. And then while you see, in between, probably throw on the little, what the cause is about. That's it. Throw a free jam.
Coming back to the caller that says he's disappointed with IP. IP has given up his office and sacrificed his time to be there in Dewash. Sometimes we have to think before we talk, huh? On the telephone, how to talk to me, yes?
Matt, good afternoon to you, Matt.
Good afternoon to you, my
Matt,
brother.
I think it's a leadership. We have a leadership situation. It's like the people need a hero in this time of need, and there's no strong man willing to take the lead, man. And the men with balls fall asleep in Dominica, man.
Okay.
And the people need a hero in this time of need, and there's no strong man willing to take the lead.
But Nasio is standing for a long time. You're gone. Nasio has been standing. If you're prepared to stand before the heavy equipment, so what else do you need there? Do you need a political leader? Somebody says it takes more than standing and talking, some more action. Dominicans are strange people, man.
When the British heard of his name, they brought Africa to war for the Caribs were to stay with them. French people fought to northern land.
Somebody says we are in a sad state of affairs when those entrusted to head institutions like planning, forestry, police force, etc. have no testicular fortitude to do what is right in this country. Yes, I see it again in National of Mepui. There's a lot of ignorance going on. I've said before, never try to educate the ignorance, huh? They will not understand.
Now we are on the path. We are going to be alright.
But why DBS doesn't talk about that? I listen to the news on DBS, everything. We doesn't hear nothing on DBS about that. What happened? DBS is not in the translation. Saying, let me hear DBS say something about that.
We'll continue to talk on that as we continue in the afternoon. But we have a stop. For the next few days, we'll give it more attention.
I think some of us got to stop being so selfish in our way we express ourselves as far as the condition of the country, man. Not because people in Carib territory not standing or people in Marigot and this area not standing, you shouldn't stand because you live in Rose or you live on the West Coast, man. This is Dominica you're talking about. It's the country. So every man who can stand, stand. Who can stand, don't stand. But if you can't stand, you stand. To look at other people because they're not standing, I don't know why. I can't blame them. I can't, curse them or can say they ain't standing, so I ain't standing. That's not the right attitude in struggle, man. Thank you.
Well, yes, somebody's asking whether the Dominican media can't reach Dewash. I've seen a few. But not constantly. As it relates to the addressing the issue, they have been very silent. I can see that. But as I have said before, there are few independent media persons in Dominica who can give coverage to these activities because they work for the government of Dominica. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Matt,
Yeah.
wait, who can Dominica, Look where you have. Look where. Matt, the Chinese in all over Dominica, they north, south, east, and west. And Matt, these people settle down. If you go to Pichle, they're there. If you go to wherever in Dominica, they're there. Matt, look with Dominic, if you see Dominicans don't want to see what is happening, Matt, that is the only river in the Concord area. And you can remember we had a hurricane, and that river saved us from doing everything, Matt. Matt, when you look at these people are just destroying everything we have in Dominica. Matt, I'm going to switch it and just a little bit. Matt, there is a school in Wesley. A school in Wesley. That is one of the issues. Hurricane shelter in Wesley. And Matt, these people destroy this hurricane shelter. And right now we in the hurricane season. Right now we in the hurricane season. I mean, if you're doing something, you destroy something, you have to add up one to it. Matt, I tell you, we who can Dominica, and when you see everything that come out in Dominica, people are afraid of the police. They don't want to be they don't want to be arrested. That is the only reason why most times people not showing up, because people are afraid of the police, and that's just it. Anytime they see police, they are afraid, right? And Matt, I tell you, if you see people don't do what they have to do, we finish in Dominica. Thank you.
Again, we're waiting for our folks there from the Dominica Social Security. As soon as they get here, we will switch the conversation. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Good to you, sir.
Matt, well, with all the suggestions, Matt, I figure I'll put my 2 pence in. My 2 pence is call the parliamentary representative in your constituency and tell them that you are pro-saving Dewash and you shall not vote for them, and they should convey that to their prime minister. So that is my suggestion, Matt. Call all of them if you have to. Say that you're in their constituency. Give your name if you have to, and tell them you will not vote for them if their prime minister continues with the destruction at Dewash. Thank you, Matt.
All right, that's your suggestion.
Matt, you understand the man. He doesn't say disappointment in the pipe. You must listen what the man will say. Listen what he say.
If I didn't listen, I wouldn't make the comments. You should listen. Somebody is saying the government giving the country a poison pill, my brother, remaining east, west, and destroying this country. Somebody saying the Kalinago chief should needs to mobilize a few more people. They say when you point fingers, there are many pointing back at you, huh? If I could actually leave this program this afternoon, I would be up in Dewash, standing with Nasio and the brothers. It can't be everywhere at the same time, huh?
In the year 1493, Christopher Columbus came, he saw.
Hello, talk to me, yes?
Hello.
Yes, uh-huh.
Yes, man.
Uh-huh.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you, sir.
But,
Yes.
yeah, what is going on there is really something that I dreamt of. I had a dream where I saw a Chinese came and the Chinese said to me, "You see this mountain? Your prime minister has given me this mountain." And I thought where it was where they were building the airport, only to know. And the exact place where they are, that's where the government gives to them. So this is something that the mountain is being given to the Chinese. And then you know how the system works. The thing is that what I'm saying is we all have to stand up and can go out there and really demonstrate, because that is really going to affect the river. It's affecting the river already. It's affecting the entire ecosystem. And if we are trying to build our ecosystem, we should not allow persons, not even Dominicans, Chinese, to come and destroy our ecosystem. So people of Dominica, stop just talking and just doing things. Our job now is to protect our country. And this afternoon I was saying, this song, Pakite, Yopo Dominic Hodno, that lady got that prophetic insight when she was alive and she's in her grave now, and she was warning us, do not allow people to take our country from us. And look now, people are taking it and we are just sitting by idle by and just sitting there and just talking a lot of foolishness and not standing up for our country. Yeah, and this is so sad.
Very sad, huh? Let's see, 2:08 is the afternoon time. We've not seen the DSS just yet, so let's continue to talk. Hello, yes?
This is for the caller that said, where is the Kalanago people? And why should he come if the Kalanago is not showing up? Matt, if everybody wait for someone to show up, for them to show up, then we're not going to get no. And that's the problem in Dominica. We are waiting for that one. We're waiting for Lennox. We're waiting for the Kalanago. We're waiting for Nasio. Nah, you go ahead. Like
Sorry about that. Are you there?
Movie. You build it and it will come. You go there and people will show up. Don't worry about the other people that are not showing up. You show up. All right? You do your part and show up. If you believe that is wrong, then you show up. And the rest of the people, they will come. Don't worry about who you're showing up and who's not showing up.
Christopher Columbus came, he saw a huge mass of land. It was green, so high and untamed. It was under a lovely day. And blue was the sea and sky. We lived this new land, Dominica, the whole was steady bright. No need care, no need country. No need shipping, but the sun's a touch. Hele konga turisule, kumele pilasha.
Hello, talk to me, yes? I've been told that there's also the Social Security, Dominica Social Security is on its way. Hello, talk to me, yes? Uh-huh. Uh-oh, let's take another phone call. Are you there, caller? Yes? Hello?
Good afternoon again.
Yes, my brother.
Matt,
I'm right here.
yeah, this is Brother Mauro from Masak.
I heard you.
My brother, listen to me. My brother, in 1979, I was little. All right, and my brother, we got it under the ministry, and we get what we wanted. My brother, we cannot let those Chinese pull us out from Dominica. My brother, I'm not going there because I'm on $40,000 bail. All right, and I'm not going there. My brother, but because if I go there, they're going to arrest me. Between us, if I go there, they're going to arrest me. So, because they're longing to arrest me. and put me aside. My brother, I'm not going there because I'm too violent. All right. Have a good day, brother.
Have a good day too. Thank you very much, Dominica. We're here. And of course, we will be entertaining the Dominica Social Security. After this, we're going to come back after this.
Together. So the community fed off the pan and fed and cared for the pan and the group of players.
You had three women playing steel band. It was Marlene Detush, Cornelia Prosper, and Pamela Shillingford.
Steel band part 3 was what was good about pan. It brought people together. They assembled around the pan. But for some reason, our communities, when there's a festival in Point Michel or a festival in Granby, what kind of music do you hear? What kind of instruments do you see? What has happened to Jinping, quadrille and dance in a place even like Granby? Steel band part 3.
You adopt the pan in SMA, you adopt the pan at convent, grammar school.
That's why pan needs to be in the schools, because it can be used to teach children mathematics. So you can make math a joy for children. Steel pan part 3. This Friday, March 30th, Atherton Mate will be joined by Pan Genius James Gregoire as we look at the way forward for Steel Pan in Dominica on Creole Helmets on Q95 FM from 11 a.m. Steel Pan Part 3. Pan, in fact, discourages that kind of awful disrespect of the human body by man or woman, and instead replaces it with a sense of belonging, a sense of being cared for, and a sense of learning. This Friday, 11 a.m. on the Big Session Q95 FM, the revival, the rebirth, the renaissance, all in and contribute to the way forward for Steel Band in Dominica.
Me cool winning Rosa again. Same place outside Flossies. I tried to dock in, but you had time see me. Well, story start again. Million, lot of my power we got, huh? Saga fella, I said the same thing you doing, shopping at Flossies, and you don't have to tell me the same thing you tell me last time because I busy. Is to hear him way. You reckon? About my pocket, yeah. I won't tell you that I save money in food and drinks when I buy quantity. I save more. Oh, shucks, man. Well, when you're still telling me, I know already. To pack a spetting way, but it can even up here for Palais. I will tell all my friends from London, US and Dominica to come to Floss's, right next to the Rosa Market. Open Sunday to Saturday. Floss's can't do it to you.
Dominicans, Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your properties. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till your flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
Register with Social Security. Make sure your employers pay, cause some of them go belay. Make sure they pay your Social Security. Secure your age pension when you're old. Invalidity pension when health has left you cold. Survivor's pension secure for your spouse and your children. Life and health are unpredictable. Don't take risks. You can't afford to gamble. Secure yourself with Social Security. I said that. Social Security. It put you know.
Dominica, we're here. We're talking here for the next few minutes. We're friends here from the Dominica Social Security. Our focus this afternoon Certificate of Life Forms, TSS 50th anniversary. And that's the focus. Let me say good afternoon to the folks here. Should I say ladies first or men first? Good afternoon, Mr. Haiti. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you? Good afternoon to your listeners. Happy to be back here again.
I see you trying to get the headphone on. Let's see if we can help you with this as we move on. So we're here. We're here. A little loud? Okay, okay. Thank you. Now we've gotten all the technical matters out of the way. Let's say again, good afternoon to our team there. A very competent team, as always, from the Social Security. Let me allow the team to introduce themselves. Mr. Agent?
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Peltier, and good afternoon to your listeners. Happy once again to be on Q95 to interface with your audience to speak about pertinent matters relating to Social Security.
All right. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Matt, and good afternoon to the listeners of Q95. It's always a pleasure to be here to interact with your listeners, and it's our first program for 2026. So we are happy to be back on air, giving the information about Social Security to the general public.
And this afternoon, we choose to focus on the Certificate of Life Forms, DSS 50th anniversary. Let's explore some of the issues there.
Okay, so the 50th anniversary of Social Security is a significant milestone, we believe. Social Security having been established on 1st February 1976, having taken over from the National Provident Fund, which had existed for just 5 years prior to the introduction of Social Security. So we believe that 50 years in the life of such an institution that has been so pivotal in ensuring the well-being of our people at times when they suffer loss of income is an occasion that is worthy of celebration. So February 1st, 2026, last month would have marked the 50th anniversary of the Dominica Social Security. And we had, the main activity was a Thanksgiving church service that we had on the 2nd of February, the first Monday in February, to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the institution. That was held at the People's Pentecostal Church in Goodwill. And from all accounts, that was a very well-executed church service. We took the opportunity to recognize 15 exemplary employers who had been with the institution, well, from the inception of the institution to date. They were there when the institution was established 50 years ago. They've been paying contributions on behalf of their employees, and they continue to do so on a consistent basis. And their record is almost unblemished. You might have a few lapses along the way, but I mean, at least they were among the top 15. And there are others who were, but we just were limiting the number we could recognize. These are establishments that have been in existence for the life of this institution. So they've been there throughout those 50 years. And we also took the opportunity to recognize 2 of the longest serving members of staff who are currently on staff, who've been with the institution for most of the 50 years that it's been in existence. And I think the highlight of the occasion is always the performance by our choir. We have a DSS staff choir. And
oh, really?
Yes. And they offered a few renditions at the church service that were lauded by everybody who were in attendance and everybody who...
Were you part of that choir?
No, I wasn't.
Why not?
No, I'm involved in other aspects of the thing. So, yeah. But the choir continues to give a good account of themselves, and I want to, at this point, to recognize them again. And we also had the next activity we had.
So the next activity we had as part of our 50th anniversary to open the 50th anniversary celebrations. We had an open day and health fair which took place at our office on the 6th of February, Friday the 6th of February, where we had members of the public come in to interact with our officers to get information about Social Security, to get information about their status with Social Security, whether their employers were making contributions on their behalf, whether they wanted to know what was their contribution records like at Social Security. And so we had that on the 6th of February. It was very well attended, Matt. So much so that a few persons told us that they were unable to access our office on that day because of the volume of persons that we had coming in. In addition to that, we had a health fair on that very same day as part of the activities to the public, where free health services were extended to persons who were coming into the office on that day. Blood pressure checks, blood sugar checks, there were HIV checks being done as well. We had doctor on site on that day to give free services to the public. So it was a way of Social Security giving back and recognizing that we need a healthy population in Dominica, which will benefit Social Security in the long run, because we need people to be working and contributing to the program. And so that was one of our initiatives that we had on the 6th of February, which by all accounts was very well attended. And some persons said that they had difficulties in accessing on that day because of the volume and the length of time they would have had to wait, which they did not have that time at their disposal. So hopefully we are looking at all of those things and seeing how best going forward, when we have those programs in the future, how we can tend to make it better so that we can serve more persons during those activities.
All right. And this afternoon, we're here to, and I want to get straight to it, we're here to discuss the Certificate of Life Forms DSS 50th anniversary. Can you speak to that as we explore this afternoon?
Okay, so the Certificate of Life form is a legal requirement. You know, when a person pays contributions to Social Security for a number of years, and they are only receiving a pension, which is a payment for an extended period of time, in the case of age pension, payable for the remainder of the person's life. The Certificate of Life is a documentary evidence that is required on an annual basis to confirm, to certify that the pensioner is alive and in receipt of their pension. The reason why this is important is that while the system exists to pay benefits to contributors, insured persons, the system ought not to be making payments to persons who are dead. So the requirement for the provision of documentary evidence that the persons are alive is to ensure that we do not hear from those persons, we do not continue to make those payments. If perchance the person might have died and somebody might be accessing those benefits that are not due once the person passes on. So a lot of people say, but you're talking to me, you seen me on the road, you know I am alive. Yes, I may know you are alive, but the office requires documentary evidence, a particular form that has to be completed by you, the pensioner, witnessed by somebody, saying that on a particular day and possibly at a particular time, you were seen, you were known to have been alive and well and in receipt of your benefits, that we can continue to make your payments. When we do not receive those Certificate of Life forms by the stipulated deadline date, we presume that the person is dead. And when the person resurfaces, if the person resurfaces, we will reinstate the benefit.
So you're having a little difficulty with that?
Not particularly. A lot of people know that they have to do that every year. In fact, as soon as January starts, they're on our back. Sometimes we're not even quite ready with the forms yet, and they're required to do it. But they have until the end of March 31st, to have that completed and submitted to our office. It's just a certification that they're alive, and the conditions that necessitated them receiving that benefit continues to be satisfied. So your parents, for example, are receiving their pensions. Is their death that will stop the payment benefit, but we need that evidence to confirm that they are alive every year about this time. And if we do not hear from them, we presume them to be dead. And for most persons, when their benefit is suspended because they did not submit their form on time, they call in, they visit, they do what they have to do so that we can resume the payments. But the intention is that you don't want to go paying somebody, and it's not unlikely for that to happen. Because we've had experiences where a person completed a life certificate, and within a couple of days of completing life certificate, the person passes on. And if we're not mindful of that, it means we'd have paid that person benefit for a whole year until next year about this time, when we require them to reconfirm.
What happens in that case?
No. So once the person dies, the benefit has to stop. Well, we cannot pay a dead person because a dead person has no need. They're not physically here. They have no need. So we ought not to pay a dead person.
But of course, you just said that sometimes you don't know the person is dead.
No. The
So
point I'm making is
what
that
happens with those funds then?
No. The system exists to pay benefits to persons when they are entitled to those benefits. But by the same token, the system ought not to be making payments that are not due.
Okay.
So if a person has died, a dead person is not dead. If that person has no need, the dead person is not entitled to benefit.
Mhm.
The benefit has to stop on the day prior to the person's death. So you die today, we would have to pay you as of yesterday. We can't pay you for today because today you're dead, you don't have any.
Mhm.
There are benefits that are payable to the dependents of the person who has died, and the benefit starts on the date of death of the person. So you die and you leave your spouse behind, or you leave children behind. They become entitled to part of the benefit that you're getting from the date of your death, but the payment to you cannot continue beyond your death. So we need to stop the benefit once you die, and if you have dependents behind, the benefit that you are receiving will be distributed among your eligible dependents.
What age of the dependents?
Different conditions for different. It's too involved to go through that in detail, but the dependents are your spouse, legally married or living in common union for at least 3 years, children, dependent children who are under 21, unemployed, unmarried, and at school, or you can have a disabled child, irrespective of that child's age at the time of the parent's death.
Mhm.
In the absence of the spouse and or children, if you have a parent or grandparent above the age of 65 who was dependent on you or who you were supporting while you were living, that parent or grandparent, in the absence of a spouse and or children, would qualify for half of the benefit that you were getting.
Mhm. But that person has to be over 65.
The person would have to be over 65, yes, because you become entitled to an age pension at 65. You not yet qualify for age benefit and you die and we have to pay your mother.
Mhm.
Your mother would have to, well, obviously, your mother would have to be older than 65.
Right.
If you are almost 65 or you're already 65 receiving a pension.
Mhm.
Yeah. The person has to be elderly of age.
Okay. You wanted to add anything else?
Okay, I just wanted to go back to the certificate of life forms that Mr. Etienne started speaking about. And he did mention that the deadline is the 31st of March. And we have pensioners in Dominica and we also have pensioners who are out of Dominica. So for those pensioners who are out of state, what used to happen before Matt is that they would have to get those forms and have them notarized and emailed or FedEx or DHL to our office. And we know the cost. There's a cost to having those documents notarized.
Okay.
So 2 years ago, back in 2024, we introduced a feature whereby they could call us on WhatsApp via video call and have their status updated. So in addition to having it notarized, there may still be persons or pensioners who prefer to use that method, but we just extended or expanded the means by which they could update their status, and we introduced a WhatsApp video calling feature. They can call us at 767-275-2600. So if you're out of state and you need to update your status, 767-275-2600 is the number to call via video call on WhatsApp. The pensioner must be available during the call so that we could ID the person, and the person needs to have a valid form of ID, either your social security card, a valid passport, or other pictorial ID that we could ID you. And we could immediately update your status that way. So if you choose to utilize that feature, you no longer need to have the documents sent or notarized and sent to our office by email. So that was just a means of simplifying the process for our pensioners, particularly those who are out of state would have had to have it notarized. They can now call us on WhatsApp via video call with their valid form of ID and have the status updated. And there may be some persons who may get some difficulties in connecting with us, but that is because of the high volumes of calls that we are getting via WhatsApp. We may not be immediately available to take your call, but if you try a first time and you don't get through, you can just keep trying and someone will answer you or get back to you.
Here's a critic making a point here and ask, why is the DSS taking 1 million years to respond to emails? Do you have a problem?
It depends on what kind of email is that. It depends.
Well, I suspect somebody has been trying to send some emails and there's been no response. I don't know what you're trying to expound that.
Okay, sometimes people send emails asking for information and people do not properly identify themselves.
Okay.
we like to tell people that the best way for us to
So you can't remain anonymous when speaking to you.
No, we can't deal with anonymous situations. If you're making an inquiry about your situation, you need to identify yourself properly. And the best way for you to identify yourself to Dominica Social Security is by quoting your Social Security number, not even by telling us your name. Because they send an email, my name is so-and-so. That is the name, or that's the name. Some of them, they use the name they like, and their official name, what some people call the government name, they don't like it, they don't use it. But we don't know them by the name they like. So they send the email.
They prefer the alias, the nickname.
Sometimes. They send the email, I'm inquiring on my claim. Mafias, whatever. But you're not registered by us on Mafias, and I will search my system for Mafias, Pelty, whatever. And I may not find you because your official name is not Matthias. But if you give me your Social Security number, I would have gotten you as soon as I got the email. So sometimes you can ID the person to address the question or the concern they have because you want to check their specific situation because you cannot speak about them in general terms. You want to speak specifically. So what we do sometimes is ask them when the person who intercepts the email, if the person has not properly identified themselves, before even forwarding the email for action, get the person to identify themselves properly. So that when the person who has to take action and gets it, they know exactly what they're dealing with.
Okay.
So sometimes the person who intercepts the email will acknowledge receipt and it will be forwarded to the person who has to take action on it. So they might have gotten an acknowledgement and they have not actually gotten the actual response. So it's in the ordinary course of things, sometimes certain things slip you, but generally, once the email is received by the office, at least it is acknowledged and it is referred to the best person to take action on it. And most times people try to respond to those emails almost immediately. If it involves a little research where you have to delve into certain things, it might take you longer, and then along the way it might slip you.
Let's see if we can take a phone call. Are you there? Hold on before you continue. Hello, yes?
Yes, good day to you all. Mr. Etienne and the young lady, you have good day to you all. I always give all you flowers when all your life. Keep up the good work. A question I want to ask, because the gentleman is he's not a radio person, so he's listening. The gentleman is 70 years, right? He don't have any children. He is not married. He has a young lady at 67 years taking care of him and everything. He was saying, if he died today or tomorrow, right? I told him that he wouldn't be getting Social Security. But then he said, the person that taking care of him, if he die, if he can come in the Social Security and talk to them and say, well, is Mary Jane of 67 years that taking care of him. So when he died, if Mary Jane would get some money from his Social Security, because he would be no longer getting it. And there's another thing. If the gentleman died, would Social Security give a little money to bury him, or after he buried? He's listening. He doesn't want to come to the phone. So I am the lifesaver talking for them and fighting for their money. Hats off to you all. We get in our fortnight morning time. So God bless all you. Is the credit union that is the problem. And I will die and face the credit union. So just explain to the gentleman for me. He's hearing and I'm speaking for him.
All right, thank you, Marlene.
Thank you, Marlene. Thank you.
You understand?
Okay. So the benefit, as we were speaking about a while ago, is upon the death of the insured person, the pensioner in that case, if he is survived by eligible dependents, the law says who the eligible dependents are. And as I explained a while ago, it is a spouse, legally married and or living in common law union for at least 3 years. Children under 21, unemployed, unmarried, and at school, or a disabled child irrespective of that child's age, or a dependent parent or grandparent. If the gentleman is not living with the woman as if they are man and wife, he cannot ask us to pay the woman upon his death. She is not his spouse. Although she is the one taking care of him, she would not be deemed an eligible dependent. The payment of the funeral grant, however, is available to the person who will meet or who has met or who is liable to meet the burial expenses. So upon his death, because he is receiving a pension, a funeral grant is payable to the person who will meet his burial expenses to assist the person in burying him. How that happens, how that works is when he dies, if the person, in that case, he has no children, no spouse, whatever, the caretaker maybe is the one who will make the arrangements. She will approach the funeral home, make the arrangements to bury the gentleman. And presuming she doesn't have the money, she will probably tell the funeral home she has to get the grant from Social Security. There is a form that has to be completed. She will complete that form and she will write a letter saying she's claiming the benefit, the funeral grant, on behalf of the deceased person and asking that the benefit be paid to the funeral home. And we will pay that to the funeral home.
So that's the only way she can get access to that.
Yes, unless if she's his partner, common law partner, and then there is evidence that that is so, she will not be entitled to receive part of the benefit that he was getting. The benefit would stop upon his death. He has no eligible dependent surviving.
But that's his request. She's the person.
The law is not something. So what he has to do is to ensure that there is money in his account that she can have access to. If he wants to do something like, he cannot will his benefit to anybody. The law says who the dependents are.
But I'm trying to understand because I'm seeing where you're coming from. But he's saying this is the person that's been taking care of me for some time.
Yes, the person who is taking care of him, if he wants to ensure that she has something after he dies, he needs to make provision for that. Not by telling us to pay, because she would not be entitled to the benefit if she's his caretaker. She would only be entitled if she were his spouse.
All right, I understand. 449-309-596. If you have any questions, feel free to do that. All right, we're going to come back. Before we go to the break, let's take a phone call. Are you there, caller? Yes?
Mr. Etienne, he's not supposed to come to the Social Security and get any form to say, well, that person taking care of him and whatever it is, no?
It's necessary for him to do that.
Oh.
All
right.
Okay. Thanks, Marlene.
Hello, yes, talk to me.
Hi, good evening. Good afternoon, Matt. How are you doing?
I'm here.
Mr. Etienne and the young lady, good afternoon.
Yes,
I have a
caller.
question.
Mm-hmm.
We have a set of companies in Dominica. We say no young people don't want to work, but we have a set of young people in Dominica that work in. Sometimes they don't work for a while. They get a little job and they're happy they're paying the little Social Security, the person paying the little Social. All of a sudden, the person stopping the Social Security. You hear me say, Etienne, or you have to look into that. And when the person come, I already see big men crying Social Security, you know, because they work for how many years, and when they come, think they're getting something and they don't getting something. Check that for the young people from me, please.
But
there are companies in Dominica that taking all the Social Security on their package and they're not paying it. And that's wrong. When they come to you, are you telling them go to a lawyer? Those boys are not going to go to a lawyer.
We telling them go to a lawyer?
Yes.
That's not correct, ma'am.
That's not correct?
No, dear.
Well, investigate.
Some people,
check those companies.
Some people feel they can go to lawyer, but once all they need to do is to make an inquiry with us, and if they tell us they're working with Mr. Peltier, they're working with him from that time to that time, they're getting so much money. We have field officers that we will assign to go and investigate and try to get the money paid on behalf of those employees. We not even encourage the employees to take on the employers, because under the law, we have authority to even take the employers to court. So some people, because before they run into a difficulty, they figure they have to run to a lawyer, but it's not we who ask them to go to lawyer. We encourage them, however, to inquire periodically to ascertain, find out whether their employer is in fact paying the contributions for them. And where we find out they are not, the mere fact that they make the inquiry, we make a note and we refer it to our compliance officers. Those are officers that the law authorized to go out there and to enter any premises where they suspect employment activity to be taking place, so that they can carry out investigations and ensure that people are complying. So if we have the information that these people are working with employer ABC, we have means of sending officers to investigate and to try to secure, to try to recover those contributions on behalf of those workers.
Somebody's following up with the question there. If this gentleman we were talking about a while ago who has a person taking care of him and is 67, can he write to the Social Security and basically say, that's my partner?
Well, he can claim to be his partner, but we have to get documentary evidence that they have been in that relationship. So we tell people that the law makes provision for a person to nominate, register with us a beneficiary, but that is for a married person, a legally married person who is separated from their legal partner, but who has a partner on the side and would prefer that side partner get the benefit. They write to us to tell us that. But he cannot write and claim that she is if they not, because we'll have to get documentary evidence that justice.
So you will investigate that?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. If they're legally married, there is
Certificate.
at least there is a marriage
Yes.
certificate. If they're living in common law, somebody has to confirm that for us. So just saying that doesn't necessarily make it better complete.
All right. If someone is mentally incapacitated and the court appoints a receiver to manage that person's business, can the appointed person make representation for the person's benefits, and what is the process?
First of all, the person probably would already have been in receipt of the benefit by the time the person becomes incapacitated, unable to act for themselves. So if the court appoints the person for all intents and purposes have to act on behalf of the insured person, the pensioner. So it depends on the timing. Everything happens at a particular point in time. So if the person is incapacitated before they become entitled, when they get there, the person that the court would have appointed could in fact access the benefit on behalf of that person. Yes.
Okay. Somebody's still waiting for, I think, the response in terms of the. I sent an email in September 2025. I received a response in December 2025. I'm still waiting on a response to my follow-up email. My emails are not anonymous. I send follow-up emails and have yet to receive a response. Again, of course, I'll give you the person's number and then you can follow up. I sent the email in September 2025. I received a response in December 2025. So something's definitely wrong. All right, so I'll pass you the number.
You will pass us the information and we can look into it, man.
All right, thank you very much. On the telephone, yes? Hello?
Hello?
I'm here.
Yeah. Mark,
I'm here.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
I have a question for Mr. Etienne. I had a problem with Social Security that I was paying Social Security. I worked many places and paid Social Security. But then after a while, I was self-employed. So I went to open an account for myself. But then the self-employed I was on there, it never worked out. So I never really paid anything because the project never come through, so I never paid. But recently I went to make a card because my card expired, and the young lady at the front told me I owe in $3,000 something. So I tried to get into her that the project never come forth, so I had the money to pay. So then if I'm to get the card, I have to pay $3,000 whatever. So I said, but the project never come off because it's a truck I had, and then the project never come out. So the partner took back the truck and everything, so I never got a chance to work. Up to this day, I'm not working. I just do little odd jobs, right? But then I contribute to security many years, working all by Brisbane, working construction, working all about. So I never paid Social Security. So why I have to pay that $3,000 something just to get the card? I want Mr. Etienne to explain that to me, please.
Frankly, you might have been better off not to have come and sign as self-employed, and because you are required to pay contributions when you are working and earning. So if you're an employee, you pay contributions as and when you work, your employer pays on your behalf. And if you are temporarily out of employment for whatever reason, when you're not working and earning, you're not required to contribute. When you come forward and sign up as a self-employed person, you're doing this almost voluntarily because you're claiming that you are self-employed. If you claim you are self-employed, you sign up as such, and you have not paid as a self-employed person, you do have status with us currently.
No, but his point is he signed up because he thought he was going to get monies from that contract.
So having signed up, you indicated, you make representation to us that I am self-employed as of that date, that what make it so much money. You have to at least make good on that. Otherwise, you came to us under false pretenses.
But he's just saying that the project never comes through. So how are you gonna justify that?
But he's registered, and the problem is that he might have signed up how many months ago, never came back. So if you sign, your status has now changed from employed to self-employed, and you have not.
So he can come back now and say what?
So that I'm sure what they're telling him is that he needs to make good on his self-employed payment for the period he came to sign up and claim he was self-employed. People do that. They registered 5-6 years ago as self-employed, never turned back, and now they want a card. And now some of these people, some of them, they signed up right from scratch. If you're an employee before, you can say maybe you expected them to come back tomorrow and access a benefit. But if you sign up as self-employed and you never paid, you have no status. You should not even have had mic to begin with.
No, but you see,
And one of the responsibilities,
hold on. Yes,
before
I
you
understand.
continue, one of the responsibilities of individuals is that you need to notify us as soon as there's a change in your status.
That's the point I'm getting to.
As soon as there is a change in your status, not at the time when you recognize that your card has expired and you now need to renew your social security card. So he should have come back at the very same time that he realized that there was a change in his circumstances. He should have notified Social Security. But he came to do that at the time when he recognized that he needed to renew his card, and that is when he came back to say something.
So the blame is on him.
So it is important that people have to note whenever your circumstances change, whether it be a change in address, a change in employment status, that you need to notify us as soon as that happens.
Yeah, because if the law says if you're in receipt of a certain amount of money, less than a certain amount, you will be exempt from paying. So if they inform us of their situation, under the law, they can be exempted from payment for a period of time. But you just sign up and you never turned back.
Never came back.
You never came back.
Let's take a phone call. Hello, yes.
Yes, my good afternoon to you and your guest, man.
Good afternoon to you.
I have two concerns. One, okay, right, also I'm homebound, right?
Yeah.
I can't leave to go anywhere, I'm homebound. I have a card, a social security card, that will expire, I think, in 2025, somewhere around that time. Now, since I'm homebound, I'm not going anywhere. What is going to be the position with me when my social security card expires? That's one. The other thing, Matt, husband and wife, my wife and myself, we are living together. We are both on pension, but then I am the one that is making the greater contribution to our home and so on. If I die now, will my wife get anything from what I'm getting now? In other words, if I die, since I was the one that is the main breadwinner, is she entitled to get anything from Social Security as a result of that? Okay?
Okay.
That my two concerns.
Thank you.
Okay, so to answer the last part of your question first, Social Security has a benefit that we call survivor's benefits, and that is a benefit that we pay to the surviving dependents of an insured person. So you, as the person who was contributing to Social Security, leave behind a spouse, in that case your wife, or if you had dependent children who are under the age of 21, unmarried, unemployed, and at school, or even a disabled child, they will qualify to receive a survivor's benefit upon your death. Okay, so that is one. So yes, your wife will be entitled to receive a benefit upon your death. And in addition to that, we have what we call the funeral grant, which is a one-time lump sum payment that we pay to assist with your burial expenses. So if your wife is the one who has met or is going to meet your burial expenses upon your death, Social Security has what we call a funeral grant. You are an insured person, so the grant payable for now at this time, the grant is $3,400. So that is what we will pay to assist with your burial expenses.
All right.
To quickly point to that, you said both of you are contributing, but yours is better than or higher than hers.
Yes.
Upon your death, the survivor's benefit that's payable to your wife is 50% of what you would have been receiving. Now, because your wife may already be in receipt of a pension in her own right, upon your death, we now have to compare the pension she's enjoying in her own right with the amount that she now is entitled to from yours. And we pay her the higher of the two and half of the other. Okay, prior to the change, we used to pay the higher of the two and that's it. But right now, recognizing that the expenses of the household doesn't necessarily disappear when you die, we pay the higher of the two and half of the other to the surviving spouse.
All right, point. Sorry about that. More telephone calls. We have only about 10 minutes. Are you there? Yes, caller, go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, yes.
I want to find out if an employee has two employments, one, let's say a company and another company, works with two companies and pays any contributions from both companies. Now, that employee happens to fall sick
can he or she apply for two separate benefits, sick leave benefits?
One person working with two different employers is one person that will be sick. What happens is, because you're working with two employers, your combined earnings will be higher than if you were just working with one. So the payment of the contributions by the two employers on your behalf increases your earnings. When you are sick, your earnings are going to be affected from both employers. So you will be required to obtain two medicals from your doctor so that you can submit one to each of your employers, because you cannot rightfully be sick for one and not sick for the other. So when you go to the doctor, you have to let the doctor know that they have to give you two medicals, one in respect of each employer with whom you work, and you submit those two medicals to us, and we will pay you a benefit as a percentage of your combined earnings from the two employers.
Are you there, caller? I think he's gone. Again, the numbers are 449-3095, 96 and 97. We have just a few minutes. Are you there? Sorry about that.
We missed the first question on the last caller.
The
previous caller, I don't know what it was.
He asked two questions, but we didn't answer the first part.
I think you answered the question there. In terms, I know the callers from the Granby area. In terms of whether his wife would.
Yeah, but that was one question, but there was another part. It was the first part of the question. I didn't remember what it was.
I think. If you want to call, you can call back. Hello, yes. Sorry about that. Again, the numbers are 449-3095, 449. The telephones are going there. Hello, yes.
Hello, good afternoon, man.
Good afternoon to you. Yeah.
The question I want to ask is, I was working since I myself. I'm working, say, from about 19 years.
Okay.
And then I am now like 55 and I'm not employed. I am told that because I am not employed, whatever the reason I'm not working, I don't think that this is of much importance. But I'm told for me to benefit from Social Security, I must contribute. If you're not working, how do you contribute? That is what I want to understand. Because if I'm not working, I don't have to contribute. And I guess that is where people come in and they say they are self-employed and they try to pay and they cannot continue paying because really and truly they're not working. Or they might say, I'm a voluntary contributor. So I need them to explain that thing for me. Where if you are not working, how are you expected to contribute for you to get your Social Security benefits later on in life? Thank you, Matt. Good afternoon.
First of all, we don't require you to contribute if you are not employed. Okay, so that is the first, to answer the first part of your query. If you are not in employment, you're not currently working, no contributions are required to be paid on your behalf
for that
for the time that you're out of employment, for the duration of the time that you're not working until probably you get a job later on and you resume employment, you'll be required to start making contributions again. Now, one of the important things to note is that for the short-term benefits that we offer, like sickness and maternity, what Social Security is offering to you is income replacement benefits. So you're replacing a portion of your earnings that you're losing for a period of time that you're out of employment for whatever reason, whether it be that you are sick and you cannot work at the moment, we'll replace a portion of your earnings for the duration of the time that you are ill. If you have to stay away from work to have your baby for the duration of the time that you are at home nursing that baby and taking care of that baby, you are not currently in employment, you're not currently working because of that event that happened to you, and we'll replace a portion of your earnings for the duration of that time. So if you are not employed, there is no income to be replaced for you during that time because you are not losing any earnings. You are not working because of a condition that happened to you or out of a job at the moment, and so you have no earnings to be replaced if you are sick. What you will get is that your contributions will be at Social Security, all your records will be there, and later down, when you come to qualify, let's say for your age benefit at the age of 65, we'll take into consideration all of those contributions that you would have made to Social Security over the years. And that is when those contributions will be factored in order to pay you an age pension. Is there anything else you want to add?
Are you there, caller? She's gone. Hello, talk to me. Yes. So, yeah. Okay, let me take another phone call. Are you there?
Yes, I do. Matt.
Yes.
Matt, yes. I'm here, calling from London.
Okay.
Matt, yes.
Go ahead. Ask the question, yes.
Tyson Thomas Isidore. Right. I want to ask them. I left Dominica 2002, and I would like to know the procedure in order for me to get my money.
Repeat what you're saying again.
Cletus, ask Cletus, what should I do? Try to tell us from Mao.
Just repeat the question again.
You left Dominica in 2002. How did you do what?
I left.
Yes, go ahead.
I would like to find out the procedure in order for me to get my money from Social Security.
Which money? Which money? You have contributions in the system?
I work from 1987 DCP. I work with Mario CLT.
Caller.
I suspect what is happening. He's listening to the radio.
Yeah.
He's getting the
There are different benefits that are available under Social Security. If you are the person I think you are, you're not yet entitled to benefit from Social Security. It's not money you have in a savings account that you can come and withdraw when you're ready. The contributions you would have made when you were working wherever you worked back then are in the system. If you were currently in Dominica working and you fall sick, we would pay you a benefit. If you are too sick to work before you get to 65, I would qualify for your age pension. Before you would be able to get some benefit. But if you are not 65 yet, you're not Dominica working, until you get to 65, or maybe if you become permanently disabled, and based on the number of contributions you have in the system, you would be able to qualify for a benefit. But for you to qualify for the benefit because you are disabled, you have to send medical reports saying what you're suffering from and all of those things for you to qualify for that benefit before 65. Otherwise, it's at 65, God willing, you will become entitled to something if at all you make it.
Are you there? Okay, so
you can apply for money like you have a savings account you want to withdraw. There are benefits that you can access when certain things happen to you. And the only certain things that can happen to you because you live in overseas is if you become disabled before you become pensionable. Or when you become pensionable, or if you die, somebody will get your benefit.
Are you there, caller?
Yes, madam, there.
Yes.
But I called earlier on, but they did not answer the first question. They answered the other question, but not the first one.
They answered the second question. Go ahead.
My card will expire in 2026, I think. Or later this year, I remember the exact date.
Right.
So I am saying, and I'm homebound.
Okay.
So I'm saying, when it expires, I can come to Social Security and remove photograph again because I'm homebound.
Mm-hmm.
So what is going to happen? That's what I want to
You contact us and tell us your situation where you located, and we'll get somebody to come and take your photo and your signature.
Okay.
Or if you can send that to us, but it has to be of a certain resolution, the photo, and so if you send that to us by email, then we can use upon payment of the necessary fee.
I prefer to send somebody. Okay.
So you just inform us, tell us where you are, your name and everything, so we can send somebody to you to have the picture taken.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Thank you. On the telephone. Hello, yes?
Yes, Matt, I call in to find out how much is funeral grant right now.
Your funeral grant?
Okay, the funeral grant for the death of an insured person, that is somebody that is contributing to Social Security, is $3,400. Upon the death of a dependent of that insured person, the dependents could be a spouse who is uninsured or a dependent child, and we mentioned the ages concerned. $2,832 for the spouse, and for the dependent children is $1,416.
All right, more telephone calls. Wow, we're coming to the end. Hello, yes?
Yes, one more question for the gentleman. And before I ask the question, I want to tell Mr. Gassas, you'll have to come back on Q95 because the line is hot like fire. The gentleman, I'm talking for him and fighting for him. He's a fortnight person. He asks the funds and them every year we have to sign to get our money. It ended in March. He say if he cannot sign the form, he can't sign the form. And he's not married to the lady. The lady taking care of him. The lady spending on him. And he say, like he can't sign the form in Social Security. What he have to do is to check a lawyer, or if you all can come to him and then he can tell all you, well, this is the lady, Mary Jane, that taking care of him and whatever it is. Because he said the lady taking good care of him. When he died, the money should go for the lady. He don't have family. So, Mr. Etienne, take care all the best. Boom, I got.
Well, I think,
for the certificate of life that he has, so if he can no longer sign it, a mark would suffice, but somebody would have to be present to witness his mark. Or he can use the WhatsApp video call feature, call the office on the WhatsApp video number with his ID, and we can ID him from the office and update his status. Again, I understand his concern. He wants to ensure that the lady is taken care of after he passes on. He will have to take care of that in his planning of how he uses his resources. The benefit that he's getting will stop upon his death, except that we will pay the funeral grant towards his burial expenses. The lady will not be able to access any benefit if she's not his spouse.
Hello, talk to me.
Yeah, Max.
I'm
I
here.
have a question.
Ask a question.
Yeah. If you're looking for a guy, how long? So long, and he move in your benefit. And next thing when you go and find out, you're not paying that. I don't know what become of that because that's in common. Yeah.
All right.
If you're working and the employer deducting contributions from you, the contributions need to be paid to Social Security. But as you said, sometimes they do not pay it. When we find out that this has happened, as I said earlier, we have officers that we will send to investigate the situation, try to recover the money. And recovering the money can go as far as us taking the person or the organization to court. And sometimes the court can actually send the person to prison and they will still have to pay the contributions after. So the important thing is, what we encourage people to do is, rather than wait when you need to access a benefit to come and then discover that your contributions were not being paid, make a habit of checking periodically during the course of the year. Come in the office or call the office on the telephone. Identify yourself by saying, my name is so-and-so. My Social Security number, importantly, is so-and-so. And I work with Mr. Matt Peltier doing so-so for him from whenever, whatever. We will check the records. Matt Peltier might have paid in the past. He might be paying currently, but he may not, your name not included on his list. Having made that inquiry, having brought that to our attention, we will send our officers out to investigate and take action to recover the money.
Hello, yes?
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon.
Since I become a member, I think in December, should I have to come to sign or get a form to pull to say that I'm alive?
You became what?
Hello?
You became a member in what?
A Social Security. I mean, I've been getting Social Security from December.
You get in pension?
Yeah.
Yeah, pension, yes.
Yes,
Do I have
yes.
to come
Yes.
at what a year or?
No, you were required to.
You are going to do it before the end of March of this year.
Oh, before the end of this March. Okay.
Yes.
So that I'm alive.
Every year by March 31st, you need to do that.
Oh, March 31st.
Yes.
Okay, not February, but it's March.
Well, you have until the end of March by March 31st to do it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh boy, the telephones are going crazy. Yes, go ahead.
Man, I was just going to go back to the anniversary activities that we were speaking about earlier and to highlight some of the activities that we have upcoming as part of our anniversary activities.
Okay.
So in March, for example, we have 2 activities coming up. We have the intersecondary schools debating competition is ongoing right now. We have different rounds of the competition and various schools are participating in that competition. So Social Security has come on board as a sponsor of the semi-final round of that competition. And this will be taking place on the 26th of March. And we have 4 schools which will be participating in this round of 4 schools that have made it through to that round of that competition, to the semifinals. We have the St. Martin Secondary School, the Wesley High School, the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, and the Dominica Grammar School. So we have 2 topics that we have provided to the organizers for the students to debate on those topics which are Social Security related. And Matt, as part of our anniversary activities, we recognize that these young people who have not yet begun contributing to Social Security, at some point down in the future, they will come on board as contributors to the Social Security program. And we recognize that it is important for them to have the knowledge and the understanding of Social Security. What are their responsibilities? what are their rights, and it is a form of exposing them to Social Security, to the program, so that they can do the necessary research and to get the necessary information that they need about the program, so that when they are of the age that they can contribute to Social Security, they will be well armed with the necessary information that they need to equip them, so that they know, yes, my employer is supposed to pay my contributions. When my employer is not paying, what am I supposed to do? What are the benefits available to me from Social Security and all of those? So this is one of the ways to engage the young people in Social Security, in getting the information and the factual information about Social Security. So that debate will be taking place on the 26th of March, and we're expecting to have a very fruitful discussion among the students who will be debating at that competition.
Let's take a phone call. Are you there, caller? Sorry for having you wait there. Yes? Go-
Yes, I'm there. I tried for a long time, and you have me also. I was going to put them. Okay, a parent is dead, and they I understood that they're getting the child, the underage child will be getting a lump sum after the death of the parent. Is that true? So
Not necessarily a lump sum. The child will be entitled to something once the parent was contributing. Whether the child gets a lump sum or a pension for a period of time depends on the number of contributions that the parent would have accumulated by the time he or she died.
how old the child have to be?
We will pay children up to 21 if they are unemployed, unmarried at school, or if you have a disabled child, the child will be paid regardless of the child's age.
So take for instance, okay, a parent died,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a surviving child, maybe 14, 15. So that child will be getting some contribution from Social Security till they turn 18 or 21.
Okay,
as long
up to 16 for sure. Up to 16 for sure.
Okay.
At 16, we have to ascertain what is the child's education status. Is the child still at school? Because a child can leave school at 16 and start working, and we would cover such a child from age 16. So if the child is working at 16, 17, 18, the child is the parent's child, but the child will not be deemed dependent on the dead parent. If the child is working, the child is independent. So we will pay a child who will start paying once the child is under 21, unemployed, unmarried at school, at the date of the parent's death. If the child is older than 21 when the parent dies, that child will not be deemed a dependent child, except if the child is a disabled child.
So a situation like that, I just wanted to know if that child will be entitled, and if the child is entitled, and up to how old the child have to be.
So we will pay the child up to the time the child becomes employed, or up to 21 if the child is unmarried, unemployed, and still going to school at university or wherever.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let's see if we can take one or two phone calls before we wrap it up here in the afternoon. The Dominica Social Security. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Sorry about that. We keep missing the calls there. But let's see if we can take this one. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes.
To the stalwarts of Social Security. I want to ask a simple question. Somebody start to pay Social Security from National Provident Fund, right? And as we say, it was 5 years and then Social Security. What happened to that 5 years?
If the person had made contributions on the Provident Fund, I'm saying if, because some persons would have registered but may not have, contributions may not have been paid on their behalf. Because public officers...
I'm asking the question. The reason, my young days, I work with government.
Okay, so that's the point I was making just now. That's the point I was making. So you might have been registered with Provident Fund, but if you were working with government at the time, government was not contributing to Provident Fund on your behalf. Because Provident Fund was... listen to me, please. Provident Fund only offered a lump sum payment upon retirement or upon if you became disabled. A lump sum payment, a one-time payment. At the time, government had in place a pension that they were paying to public officers. So if you were working in the public service, you would be entitled to a pension once you would have worked for the required number of years. A pension is always better than a lump sum one-time payment because the pension is continuous. So you might have been registered with Provident Fund, but contributions would not have been paid for you by your employer because your employer offered you something better than what Provident Fund would have offered you then. If you had made contributions to Provident Fund when Social Security took over in 1976, your contributions on the Provident Fund would have been transferred to Social Security and would thus be added to whatever you would have made under Social Security, so that cumulatively, the person who would have contributed both on the Provident Fund and Social Security would have 5 years more contributions than another person who does have contributed to Social Security. But that is provided you had made contributions on the Provident Fund.
All right. Somebody's asking you, I suspect for you, why is SMA not part of this debate competition? I don't think you're responsible.
No. So there were various rounds of the
There were
competition,
rounds.
like I mentioned, and various schools were participating in that competition.
Mhm.
And at each round, you had winners for the various rounds, and these are the winners who made it through to that round of the competition.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's see if we can take one phone call, and then we're going to wrap it up here with the Dominica Social Security. Always excited when they're here. Hello, talk to me. Yeah?
Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon.
And the
Yes.
Social Security representatives that are there. Matt, in the case where Nalin was calling and talking about the gentleman and the lady who's taking care of him. If that man dies, and when he dies, and Social Security investigates and find out the people had a long-time relationship, but maybe because of age difference, family background, and whatever it is, they didn't want to make it public. Would Social Security pay that lady any benefits?
Notice Marlin kept saying the lady is a man's caretaker. I'm saying if they're living in a relationship, a common law relationship that is established, can be substantiated by a justice of the peace, a notary public, a lawyer, somebody like that. The situation is not a problem. The law recognizes common law unions for purposes of paying survivors' benefit. But if the person is his caretaker and he has a concern that he wants to ensure that she's taken care of when he's gone, the law doesn't cover a caretaker. The law covers spouse, children, parents.
Okay.
So if they are deemed to be in a relationship, they just need to establish that this is the situation and not because she's a caretaker taking good care of him.
Okay.
Okay.
I understand. Okay.
Nice, thank you.
All right. Somebody says, Matt, I migrated and I've stopped contributing to the scheme in Dominica. I do not plan to return until retirement. When I get my pension and all other benefits under the scheme, I would have contributed at the maximum for a number of years. Another question is, the child is not on the father's name. At the time of his passing, can the child get contributions from the DSS?
Paternity would have to be established. It would be important for the father's name to be on the child's birth certificate. If that is not so, the child is not the man's child.
No, but some children, some mothers decide that they don't want the man's name on the
So then, if you don't want the man's name on the child's birth, how you want the man's benefit? How you want the man's benefit? There has to be.
But you're sure it's the man's child because
how are we sure? We don't know. The way we are sure is that the man would have acknowledged his child as his.
So you can take a blood test at that time to determine that.
Yeah, you may have to do a DNA test or something to
determine.
confirm. Yes, so that the child, the father could die while the child was in stomach, in the womb, and then we don't know that who the father is. The mother claimed that this person would have been. The relatives would have to agree. The woman was in a relationship with the man, and they would try to confirm that. So if the child wasn't born, but you have a living child who is old enough for some years, and the father did not claim the child for whatever reason, and you can't know, would have to confirm that the child was the man's child.
Yeah, I just of course inform my friend, put the child on the man's name.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Yes.
So we wanted to mention another activity that's happening in March as part of our 50th anniversary activities, which is an on wheels that we plan to have on the 28th, the last Saturday in the month of March.
Mhm.
On the 28th of March to the west coast of Dominica, starting in Roseau to end in Portsmouth. And what that is it's a motorcade, if you will, vehicles traveling in convoy along the way, playing music, playing little short sound bites, and making whistle stops along the way in communities. Just speaking about certain aspects of social security, and possibly ending in Portsmouth with a meeting with the residents of Portsmouth, either open air or possibly indoors. We have not finalized the specifics of that last meeting, but that's what happens, and we will be interfacing with members of the public as we go along.
Somebody's asking another question. Matt, ask this question on my behalf. How do I check to see if the survivor's benefit is still available? I didn't look into it when my father died. And is it available? How many years later can it still be claimed by the beneficiary?
Under the law, we require people to submit claims for those benefits within 3 months of the person's death. But the claim can be made at any time. If it's a pension that's payable, the pension would have been payable from the date of death. But we cannot pay a benefit before a person claims for it. So if the claim is made several years late, the person would have forfeited some of the period that passed. So if the person was entitled to a pension and the person died a few years ago, the pension would have been ordinarily due from the date of death. But if the person is only now coming to claim, the earliest we can pay the person from is 1 year prior to the date of the claim. So if you claim in now and the person died 3 years ago, we would pay you back 1 year from today and going forward for as long as we need to pay you. But we would not have been go back to pay you from the date of death, although the benefit would have been due from that date.
The questions keep coming in here, Matt. If my benefits will be due in July month end this year, what and when should I approach the DSA? DSS, sir.
So you need to make your claim at least 3 months before that period. So
Prior
that would
to?
be like almost
Also.
the person will need to start compiling the application form. You have an application for each benefit form. It's available on our website. It's available at our office. You can collect the form, have it completed, attach the necessary documents like your birth certificate and so on, and the bank payment order form that will tell us where you want your benefit to be paid to, what bank, and how often, whether you want us to pay you fortnightly or monthly, and you send in that claim to Social Security. Because the benefit doesn't start automatically, as Mr. Etienne was saying. You must make a claim for the benefit. So whether if you are the age where you are supposed to get your pension, we expect you to at least notify us, make the claim 3 months before, so that we have sufficient time to compile your records and look over all of your information to start paying you your benefit at least from the date of your 65th birthday, which is from when we are supposed to pay you. There may be instances you may not get it automatically from the 65th birthday, but when we start paying you, you might get a bigger amount, because we would have paid you from when we were supposed to start paying you up to the time that you get your benefits.
It doesn't mean you get paid your benefit on your 65th
Yes.
birthday, but the benefit commences on that date and it has to be paid for the rest of your life.
So for your first payment,
Your
for
first
example,
payment may not necessarily be received in the month that you attain 65, because depending on when that is, and because we have a schedule in our calendar that says when our fortnightly and monthly payments are due, you might miss a cycle, and therefore you might have to wait for the following month in which to receive it.
As we spoke recently about the child, not having his father's name, the person is explaining, well, the child was born in the U.S., so the father was not present for that situation. How do you correct that?
Well, paternity has to be established. Let me put it that paternity of the child has to be established, and then once that is established, then they can access the survivor's benefit for the child.
So paternity must be
established. Yes.
All right. I'm asking this question on behalf of somebody in the U.S. So thank you very much for, of course, so many questions.
And so we're not restricted geographically because of where people are. What qualifies for benefit is the fact that they would have made the necessary number of contributions required to access the particular benefit. So somebody living overseas is not a reason why they cannot access a benefit if they had made the requisite contributions when they needed to. So you can claim your pension, your age pension, anywhere in the world where you are. It's just that we make the payment into a bank account here in Dominica.
Okay. Somebody saying that I need to call the DSS from overseas. What numbers can I call?
Well, if the person is calling to update their certificate of life, they can call us via WhatsApp at 767-275-2600. However, if they are calling us for any...
Say it a little slower there.
767-275-2600. If you are calling to update your status for your benefit to continue receiving your pension, you can call us via WhatsApp video call on that number. If you need to make an inquiry and you want to call us, you can call us directly. Or contact numbers are 767-255-8311 or 767-255-8312. We are also available via email. Our email address is dss@dss.dm or contact@dss.dm. So you can send us an inquiry via email. You can also send us an inquiry via our Facebook Messenger page. Our page is Dominica Social Security. We are available via Messenger. You could send a message there and we can respond to your inquiry. We also take inquiries via our WhatsApp mobile number that I just shared, 767-275-2600. So there are a number of means to reach us, and you as the customer can choose whatever method is most convenient to you.
Can somebody claim at the age of 60?
The pensionable age is 65, but there is provision that somebody can apply for early pension, but it's going to be reduced by a factor of 0.5% per month for every month early, which translates to 6% per year. So if the person applies for the benefit at 60, they will be getting it 5 years early. 6% by 5, they will lose 30% of what their full pension would have been.
All right, Dominica, let's wrap up the conversation here this afternoon. Very interesting conversation here. And let's get your final comments before you go.
Okay. To say we look forward to the invitation because it's obvious that your audience needs to hear us more often.
A little more often.
Yes. And you promise to bring us on, not when we initiate it, but on your own initiative. We're still waiting for that.
Okay.
We're still waiting for that. So we will stick with the bi-monthly appearance here. And if you can bring us on in between that, we would welcome that.
All right. So,
okay. But let people know that they have access to the office. They must necessarily wait for anyone on the radio to call. They are within their right to make inquiries with our office. I mean, if you call the office, we cannot help but give you the information you're looking for. But a lot of people like the thing of the radio station. Sometimes they call with their personal information on the radio station, which we cannot deal with there. Whereas I can sit at my desk and deal with your personal situation because we're talking one-on-one. So it's a pleasure to be here. And as I said, I'm looking forward to your invitation to come in between. But we also will stick with the bi-monthly schedule for our appearance here.
And I will invite you very soon. Okay? Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
we
you.
look forward to it. And Matt, and just to remind persons when they're making inquiries to Social Security, it is important for you to quote your Social Security number. That is the best way for us to identify you on our system. So don't say my name is Mafai Spelte or Augustus Etienne. There may be other persons with that name, but we provide you with a unique Social Security number. You alone have that number, and that is the best means to make an inquiry to Social Security. We also want to remind our pensioners again that on 31st of March is the deadline for them to submit or call in to update their status to continue receiving their benefits. So we're expecting you all to do that. We have various means by which you can do that. You can call us on WhatsApp video call, the number 275-2600. You can pick up a form at our office. If you're unable to pick it up yourself, you can have someone collect it for you. We also have the forms available in the odd districts at the various sub-treasury and the credit unions as well, where you can collect the form and have it signed and witnessed and returned to us. We also want to remind you, especially if you're on the West Coast and in the Portsmouth area, we will be down that side on the 28th of March, the last Saturday of this month, with our On Wheels, where we'll be giving information to the public. You can engage with us. So look out for us in one of those communities along the West Coast, anyway, from Roseau to Portsmouth on the 28th of March.
I think we didn't answer the question earlier. I'm going to go back to that question. Because I'm asking, I've migrated and have stopped contributing to the scheme in Dominica, and I need a response to that. Would I benefit still? I plan to come back to Dominica when I retire.
I'm saying yes, once you had the requisite number of contributions. So when the person attains 65, for example, the person can apply. Because once they had made contributions, the system owes them something. What that something is will depend on how many contributions they will have accumulated by the time they left Dominica.
But I think there was a system where in the OECS that you can, merge.
We have CARICOM. CARICOM, we have a CARICOM agreement. But it depends on if the person is
in St. Kitts, for example.
Yeah, if the person is working within CARICOM, we combine their contributions to allow them to qualify for a pension, which is a better benefit than just a lump sum.
All right. It's making sense.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.
Register with Social Security. Make sure your employers pay, cause some of them do pay. Make sure they pay your Social Security. Secure your age pension when you're old. Invalidity pension when health has left you cold. Survivor's pension secure for your spouse and your children. Life and health are unpredictable. Don't take risks. You can't afford to gamble. Secure yourself with Social Security. I said that. Social Security. It put you know.
Brought people together so the community fed off the pan and fed and cared for the pan and the group of players.
You have women playing steel band. It was Marlene Dewash, Cornelia Prosper, and Pamela Shillingford.
Steel Band Part 3 was what was good about Pan. It brought people together. They assembled around the pan. But for some reason, our communities, when there's a festival in Point Michel or a festival in Granby, what kind of music do you hear? What kind of instruments do you see? What has happened to Jinping, quadrille and dance in a place even like Granby? Steel Band Part 3.
You adopt the pan in SMA, you adopt the pan at convent, grammar school.
That's why Pan needs to be in the schools, because it can be used to teach children mathematics. So you can make math a joy for children. Steel Band Part 3. This Friday, March 30th, Atherton Mate will be joined by Pan Genius James and Gregoire as we look at the way forward for Steel Planet Dominica on Creole Helmets on Q95 FM from 11 a.m. Steel Pan Part 3. Pan, in fact, discourages that kind of awful disrespect of the human body by man or woman, and instead replaces it with a sense of belonging, a sense of being cared for, and a sense of learning. This Friday, 11 a.m. on the Big Session Q95 FM, the revival, the rebirth, the renaissance will lean and contribute to the way forward for Steel Band in Dominica.